Once upon a time, at the end of June 2025, Avery-Claire had a mental breakdown and went to go touch some grass. Something that is so innately wrong, okay, I won't say wrong with me. Something about me that is so dysfunctional I'll say. I'm a Sagittarius sun, but then I'm also a Capricorn rising. Don't know why that makes me a dysfunctional human. Don't worry, I'll explain. Capricorn rising gives me this deep personality trait of being just an absolute try-hard. I care so deeply about my career. I care so deeply about success. I care so deeply about being fulfilled through my career. But then yet, I am a Sagittarius sun. So do you know what that does? It makes me absolutely have a mental breakdown when I go a little bit too far in the Capricorn rising section of my life. And then I absolutely explode and I feel like I have to run away and go be an au pair in France and forget about everybody and everything I've ever done or met. So yes, in June, I was absolutely destroying myself because I was just working really hard. I had no balance. I was not pouring into myself whatsoever. And it's really funny how life works, because just when I think I was on the precipice of a major mental breakdown, family called and I last minute had to take off work and go be with family. Funny how things like that happen, isn't it? I could have flown to Canada, been with my family, and then just flown right back to work. But my dad and I had not seen each other in a while, and I just decided, let me take this week off and be with my family. And we had no plans, we had no itinerary, and this is what this vlog is. And I just had this feeling that I needed to pick up my camera because this was a trip that I was going to figure some things out about my life and that I would want to remember in this capsule of a video. Did I figure anything out? I'm not sure. But I was very in the moment, which is why I am here from the future to narrate you through this vlog and kind of explain how we got places, where we stopped. But first, I flew to Maine on Saturday, drove to New Brunswick to be at my family's camp, and this is how that went. Family's camp. The entire family, my dad, all of his cousins, all the aunts and uncles, grew up coming to this camp every summer, all summer. I've been here many times as a kid, but never as a full-fledged adult. And I'm here to report this place is so magical as a kid, and it's just as magical as an adult. So much to catch you guys up on. The latest update is we have decided, why would we fly home to New York when we have a rental car and we could drive and we can stop in a few cities along the way that we've always wanted to visit. Have no itinerary, no hotels booked. It's It's the week of 4th of July. But our first stop, where we are right now, is we're in Portland, Maine. Portland was the cutest city, and we stayed in the cutest little inn. They had like this little pantry set up with all of these local goods and snacks, and they baked brownies and cookies that they would put in there. They had like French presses that you could bring up to your room with like local coffee. It was just, every morning they set out this little spread of breakfast. It was so beautiful. I didn't film it because other guests were also enjoying their breakfast. Smalls, which was a cafe right around the corner that was recommended to me by multiple friends who have been to Portland. I went to Becky's. My dad had multiple lobster rolls. Fact about me, I'm actually shellfish allergic, so can't have lobster rolls, which I know is very embarrassing. Just honestly, a gorgeous, beautiful time. Honestly feels like a secret city. I know it's not, I know it's very popular, but it still feels like no one's really discovered it, and when you're walking around it feels so quaint and quiet. Up next on our little trip, I was looking at the map from Portland back to New York City, and I noticed you have to cross through Cape Cod. What's in Cape Cod? Nantucket. All the New York girlies go to Nantucket every summer. They have their little sweaters around their shoulder, the hydrangeas, all of that. And I was just like, you know what? We have to do it. We have to stop in Nantucket. So that's what we did. What did I love about Nantucket? I loved the flowers. I loved the dinner spot that we went to. I need to find the name of it. You guys would love it. Felt restful, but it still felt very glamorous. Felt like a Kennedy. I felt really East Coast royalty, if you will. I didn't really feel like I fit in Nantucket. I feel like I was the only girl wearing tabby dupes on Nantucket, but in a good way. I kind of like got to channel East Coast preppy princess energy. It was really fun, and my dad really loved it too. Okay, we're in Cape Cod. We're driving back to New York. We have 2 more days left of the trip. where should we go? Desperate to go to Rhode Island. I've never been before. I've never been to any of these places. How am I going to get us to Newport, Rhode Island on the busiest 2 days of the season? That's a good question. Second there, I did not think it was possible. There were no rooms anywhere. There were no Airbnbs. Everything was astronomically priced. And then, on our drive from Cape Cod, the universe sent us a gift. And that gift was a room popping up at Castle Hill Inn in Newport, Rhode Island for the 4th of July. And not only was it the Castle Hill Inn, but it was probably the most beautiful room at the Castle Hill Inn that you could stay at that just happened to become available. To go to the beach, I got to try Nitro Bar. It was amazing, not to spoil. I had drinks on the lawn, I watched the fireworks on the lawn, and yeah. This is Newport, Rhode Island.
We're in good hands with Allstate and by True Green. Get a golf.
Road trip has ended. We got back from Newport last night, and I wanted to finish off the vlog by giving you guys a haul of everything I collected on our road trip. I got some treasures, you guys. Starting off at the camp in Canada, my relatives gave me 2 gifts. I came home with 2 homemade gifts that are so special. First being, one of my aunts made me this concrete Buddha. She actually made them for the entire family, so we each went home with, this is supposed to be a garden Buddha, but he's gonna live on my mantle. And then my Aunt Cookie, actually, I think I showed this in the vlog, but she made me a quilt. I obviously can't show the whole thing to you guys, but it's so cute. It's polka dot stripe and it's blue and white. She said it takes her 3 weeks to make one quilt, so I am honored that she let me have this one. All of my relatives have Cookie's quilts in their houses, so it's so nostalgic for me because they're in the camp, they're in all my relatives' houses, they're on all the guest beds, and now I have my own Cookie quilt. And I'm kind of resisting the urge to start quilting myself, but I don't really want to open up that can of worms. Next, in Maine, I went to Portland for a few days. First of all, Becky's Diner mug. Just had to do it. They have free bumper stickers too, so had to pick this up as well. Blanche and Mimi in Portland, Maine is literally the shoppy shop of my dreams. I had multiple friends recommend it to me, and did I do some damage in there? I could have spent hours and hours and hours and hours and gone home with everything, but this is what I picked. Both of these little French cheese knives. I loved the pink and I loved the green. Shell nightlight. They had like a huge bowl of all these different shell shapes with nightlights in them. I think it's so cute. I did have a vision in putting it in the bathroom, but this doesn't fit. So I have to rethink my vision for sure. Last but certainly not least, this vintage lamp. This is the base. And then the cutest little polka dot shade. Are you kidding? Also very kismet because I have been picturing a lamp like this in my head for my bathroom. I'm in a bathroom redo mode. And when I saw her, I was like, yeah, you're coming home with me. And she already looks perfect. I'll insert a clip. Also in Portland, I just went to this little local handmade pottery store and I got this adorable little ceramic that I'm gonna put my kitchen sponge in at the side of the sink. And then the man who ran the shop said his wife makes these little napkins. It's a cute little pink gingham, so I got a set of these. In Nantucket, I set out to buy one and one thing only. An ACK sweater so I can fit in with all the West Village girlies on the West Side Highway. No, I'm just kidding, but I just like wanted one of these, you know? As a West Coaster who's always wanted to do East Coast summer, I wanted it. And this one's like a gorgeous actual knit, like thick sweater. So I'm super excited to wear this. At first I was like, is this a little preppier than I am? But I think no. And it feels like a sweater that I will pass down to my children and they'll be like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Love it, love it, love it. My dad got an ACK hat and he is obsessed with it. He's very excited to wear it in San Diego because he thinks he's gonna get lots of compliments, so. Lastly in Nantucket, I got this little iron mermaid bottle opener. I don't actually think, I think it would be kind of difficult to actually open a bottle with this, but I think she's so perfect and she really marks being in Nantucket for me. It's a very mermaid town. When I was in Newport, I had to go home with the Nitro Bar beans. I mean, duh. I love their packaging. I think that's so cute. And last but not least, you guys have to tell me, is this the star of the show? Or is the lamp the star of the show? Or is the quilt the star of the show? I think it's a tie between those three for sure. I went to the Breakers, the Vanderbilt Mansion in Newport. I didn't actually get to go inside, which I'm devastated about, but I will be back. I went to the gift shop. The most beautifully curated gift shop I have ever seen in my life. And I had actually seen this in another store in Newport and thought it was amazing. And my dad bought it for me at the Breakers. And it's this teapot that says Votes for Women. I love her. I was actually in the market for a teapot because I have a lot of events and no teapot in my collection. This was such a bucket list trip for me. I know I said it in the vlog, but I've been wanting to go to all of these spots for years and years and years and years. And I feel like all of my little souvenirs are so perfect and will just remind me of this trip and this summer. And yeah, I can't wait to go cluster everything. Use this as a reminder to go live your life this summer, okay? You can rot away at work in the winter when it's 12 degrees outside, dark, depressing, and you're ugly. It's summer. Take your PTO and go do stuff. And spend your money carelessly. Buy a teapot. Why not? This is kind of fun. I think I'll be seeing you guys a little bit more often on this little secret part of the internet for me. All right. Bye.